My new assignment was a strange one. They paid up front, in cash, and lots of it. A paycheck is a paycheck. Thankfully, I made a few phone calls earlier. I'm gonna need a little bit of help with this one.
Sit down. Thank you for coming. There's cookies on the table. Have one. They're good. Maybe you're asking yourself why I called you here. Let me level with you, kid. Word around town is that you're a patron of a certain show. A certain show who's hosted by an individual that my client wants found, see? Do you happen to have any idea what I'm talking about? Huh? Shut up! Of course you do! I know and you know that I know that you watch that show. Look here, Joe's a bad influence. He's pissing off the wrong people. And if you don't watch out, you're gonna go down with him. Now tell me, where is Joe at? Level with me here, kid. I'm trying to save your ass. Come on, give him up. I'll make sure he gets his due process of game reviewer law. I knew you were a fool the minute you walked in here. You're just as brash and ignorant as he is. Be warned now. If I ever catch you with him, it'll be the slammer for the both of you, see? Yeah. Now get out of here, kid. I got things to do, cases to solve, see? See? And if you knew what's good for you, you'd stay away from that character, see? See? I'm on the run. This new detective is on to me. Says I killed a bunch of people and destroyed a bunch of games. I don't know. You'll vouch for me, right? Anyway, odd timing because I'm about to talk about a detective story, LA Noire. Now, I don't think any of you have quite played anything like LA Noire. Set in the backdrop of the 1940s, LA Noire really is a dark and violent crime thriller, as advertised. You are the new police recruit, Cole Phelps, played by my friend Linkara. Or was it Aaron Staten? I can't remember which. The story follows him through his career as a police officer and eventually a detective in the city of lies, Los Angeles, in search of truth. They're all liars, though. Every single one of them is lying. You're lying to me. Where did you hide the knife? Why don't you just tell me where you hid the knife so you can go collect the insurance money, huh? Whoa. Whoa, excuse me. I think I've been playing this game a little too much. You see what this game does? It transforms you into a detective. LA Noire nails its atmosphere flawlessly. It totally and completely immerses you in the role of a detective in the 1940s. It does it every bit as well as Red Dead Redemption did it for Westerns. But you're gonna find out really quick whether you're a fan of detective stories or not. This game has a slow and methodical pace, so be prepared for that and be prepared to pay attention to detail. If you're thinking it's like Grand Theft Auto in the 1940s run and gun, it's not. It plays more like a movie. The game actually probably has more in common with the old school gamer, the adventure games, the point and click. It's heavily scripted, and admittedly, it's pretty linear. If you fail, you'll get a restart screen most of the time. But it does a fantastic job of making it feel not so. What helps is that the decisions you're making have weight in investigations and interrogating, which is the funnest part of the game.
I think you set this up, Hugo. I think you kicked up a fuss about staying home for an alibi. Then you followed your wife and murdered her.
You're out of your mind coming in here making accusations like that. Come out into the yard and I'll make you take that back, mister.
Getting hostile with us is a very bad idea, Hugo.
I'm no murderer.
Make some arrangements for your daughter, and then present yourself to Central Station for questioning.
You gotta be kidding me, Phelps. Put the cuffs on him.
This is an outrage. I didn't kill my wife.
Your daughter is in the next room, Muller, so I'm giving you a break. Don't make me change my mind, and don't make me come looking for you.
If you accuse a person wrongly, your rating is gonna suffer at the end of the case.
Your next case will come when you've revived my faith in your abilities. Now get out of here!
Now you start off as a beat cop on patrol, but you quickly advance to the 4 main detective desks: traffic, homicide, vice, and eventually arson. Now homicide and vice are probably the best. It is so hard to put down, but be warned, this game in particular is better in bursts. It's not one of those that you can have an hours long marathon and play through, because if you do, it'll start to seem to get a little bit repetitive, which it can get. And be warned, this is an adult game. It deals with adult subjects. Even a bit of racism and bigotry at the time. Homicide is especially brutal. As you can imagine, there is full frontal female nudity, lots of blood, signs of rape, the worst kind of horrors that sick people in this world will do to each other. And you, my friend, have got to clean up all the mess. But that's what it's really like. Each case is interesting, not only because of the intrigue and the real life situations, but also because each performance is extremely well acted. Yes, acted, not voice acted, acted. And that's like the first time I can actually say that for a game. Real performances from real actors made possible with the new facial animation system called motion scan. I'm sure this required a hell of a lot more effort than normal. In fact, 32 cameras have to surround the subject to take their performance from all different angles. But it was totally worth it, and probably couldn't have been done without it. The whole game surrounds those good interrogations.
I think some of your men aren't fully licensed. You're desperate to cover your sales.
The level of detail is just so high that they're just like a real person in life.
You're gonna lose your wife and probably end up in the big house. I hope she was worth it.
During these, you'll refer to your handy-dandy notebook, which will list questions that you can ask your subject. It'll list clues, important people, locations, and you can review all the evidence that you collected that's important to the case. You're going to try to read the faces of these characters to determine whether they're being truthful or whether they're lying their asses off. Now, at first I was worried that you'd be able to tell who is lying too easy when they start to make these ridiculous faces.
Hey, you think I'm some kind of nut job? What proof have you got?
A big theme of this game is dishonesty and to detect when people are lying.
But I was surprised, and I got thrown for a loop in a few interrogations. The main debate became whether it was doubt or whether it was a lie. Angry Joe himself. You know, if you didn't go to Chick-fil-A so much, I don't know if we would have ever got you. Not much of a talker, huh? Well, thank God for us, you're an idiot. You're here now, and you're gonna answer some of my questions. Now, where were you on the night of November 13th, 2010? November 13th? Easy, I was at home playing a video game. Red Dead Redemption. Is that right? Yeah? Cut the crap, Joe. I got 2 witnesses and the security camera that put you at the scene of the crime. You were at GameStop trying to return a game to get your money back. You remember now? No? You're lying, Joe! You went in there with a purpose. You knew exactly what you were gonna do, and you were gonna let two little pricks tell you how to do your business? You know GameStop's return policy would have never allowed you to do that. You know what I think, Joe? I think you went in there. I think when they told you no, you got angry and you killed them in your rage, Joe. That's what I think. You murdered those two people in cold blood because you wanted your money back, Joe? That is ridiculous. I would never ever get that upset. You sure? You sure it wasn't this? Yeah, kill those people! I hope they burn in hell! They deserved it! Cuff 'em, boys, we got what we need. They tried to sell me a broken game and they wouldn't take it back? No! Nobody says no to me, you hear me? Nobody says no to Angry Joe! Shout about it! God damn it! Another thing the game does extremely well is it has some of the most amazing and detailed interiors of any game I have ever seen. That attention to detail is there because you're going to be searching everything up close. The ground around you, the locations, picking up objects and examining them. There's so much care in nearly everything, even up close. Furniture, objects, cars, to the environment itself, and only very rarely will you see some pop-in as you drive around the city. With the facial animations, the open world, the number of spoken lines, it is no wonder that this game on the Xbox 360 is on 3 discs. And it didn't bother me at least. You know, God forbid you get up off your ass and get a little exercise swapping discs. But because it's developed for the PS3, I recommend the PS3 version if you have a choice between the two. Now what's truly amazing here is that through all of these individuals, these NPCs that you meet, through 21 core cases, there is not a single bad performance. Hell, I actually tried to seek them out and I couldn't find them.
Sorry about that. I'm playing with my kids. LAPD, were you here last night?
Main characters and side characters are all believable. Some of the best voice acting in any game, period. Now don't worry about having to be the best detective or paying attention to every minute detail because there are systems in place to help you out. Anytime a case gets too hard or you get stumped, you can ask your partner for advice. Or use intuition points that you gain as you level up. You use these to solely spend on narrowing the questions that you ask in interrogations, finding every single clue, or asking the community which option they picked. And most of the times, the community was right. Each option costs 1 point, and you can store up to 5 points. I found myself not wanting to spend any of these points just to prove to myself that I could do it, but that's what they're there for, and on occasion, I had to spend some. Not to worry though, at any time, you were able to go to the main menu and replay any case from the beginning. I know I did really poorly on a few, scoring only 1 star on some, wrongly accusing a suspect. There is replayability here. It's not Red Dead Redemption levels of replayability because it's not necessarily a huge open world. It is linear, but there is some fun in maximizing your scores and getting every single answer right and seeing how that plays out. However, there are some drawbacks to this game. It could have used side activities that don't have anything necessarily to do with any of your cases or police work. Something to take a break from all of that, and it would have really solidified that excellent atmosphere. Since it's the 1940s, it would have been great to hit up a bowling alley and have a few beers with your partner. Go out to a comedy club, listen to some radio serials, or play a board game or two to sharpen your skills. They went through a lot of trouble to completely recreate Los Angeles from the 1940s, but without much activity to actually do within the city beyond your missions, there really wasn't all that much point in doing that. Maybe I'm just trying to force it into a GTA or a Red Dead Redemption model. I understand not every game has to do that, but I do think that would have benefited from more break time side activities. There's not much point in discovering landmarks or the ridiculous amount of cars in this game, especially when you need to commandeer them in order to add them to your collection. And when you're in a civilian car, you can't get any dispatch call. However, other side activities like collecting newspapers for in-game cutscenes, or those dispatch calls to actual crimes in progress, those are the better ones. The game was without a doubt extremely hard to put down. One other negative that I can potentially say is the game's ending. It does end rather abruptly. There's a bit of a tone to it that I think stays true to the noir film genre, and maybe I'll appreciate it more over time, but I felt it was more setting up DLC for after the main campaign that we should probably see shortly. We'll see. Though I think a lot of people will mention that and will be slightly disappointed by it. Ultimately though, after playing this game, I have nothing but good feelings for it. Afterwards, I wanted to become a real-life detective, and decisions that you make in-game and sequences that stay with you after you shut the game off, that's when you know that what you just bought was definitely worth the money. The final verdict for LA Noire is a very high 8 out of 10. I was originally gonna give this game higher, a 9 out of 10. But I felt 8 was more appropriate because when we do get honest with each other and strip away all of the really nice polish, the actual structure underneath everything is relatively bare and basic. For example, in some cases, if you bomb all of the interrogation questions, the case still moves on without you failing. And sometimes you still get roughly the same result. That just shouldn't be the case. I think there could have been more actual branches in consequences. Also, of the 40 street crime cases, most of them were average, if not below average. Have your partner drive you to all the street crimes to speed these up. However, the experience, the characters, the story, the attention to detail all make this game worth every single cent. I am begging for more cases, Chief, and I can't wait till Team Bondi delivers more. My gripes are small and few and far between. The game rises above those, and it definitely earns my badass seal of approval. If you like crime dramas, detective stories, the noir genre, or solving puzzles, go out there and buy this game right now. Do yourself a favor. Find the cash to buy this one. You'll be glad that you did. The game is a different kind of video game experience. It's like what I discovered with Dance Central. It's something that I'm not very used to, but I fell in love with every minute of it. The jig's up, Angry Joe! I don't know how the hell I got in here, but I'm here now, and dead or alive, you're coming with me. You don't understand, Detective Joe. That goes a lot deeper than anyone else thinks. You're being duped. There are a lot of really bad games out there. It's my right to tell people about it, and they want to shut me up. Listen, I have the evidence right over here. Let me show you. You mean on that doohickey over there? I don't know what the hell half of these whatchamacallits are, but show me. Run, get out of here! I'll see you guys on the next Angry Joe show! Sit down, kid. There's cookies on the table if you want one. Do you have any idea what show I'm talking about? Shut up! Do you have any idea what show I'm talking? Do you have any idea what show I'm talking about? Shut up! We know and I know that you know and he knows and we all know. Oh, babe, my what? What's wrong with your face? Do you need to go take a shit? No.